Spencer Rattler takes the lead in the quarterback battle. Today, ladies and gentlemen, the backdrop. Kaj, K-A-J, the young bull covering the Saints. We are going to react to this video. So, Spencer Rattler, per Nick Underhill from training camp, took reps back-to-back days with the ones. All right, so QB1 for the first time since Kellen Moore implemented this rotation. Back at it like a crack addict. Spencer Rattler looks like he is right now cemented as the QB1 of the New Orleans Saints.
May have tipped their hand a little bit as to where things stand in the quarterback battle and where things are going right now. When they had second-year quarterback Spencer Rattler take reps with the starting offense for the second consecutive day in a row, back-to-back for the first time ever so far through camp, and a possible big sign that Spencer Rattler is leading this quarterback race into their first preseason game. Meanwhile, it just continues to get worse for Tyler Shough, the rookie, who is not only losing the race, it seems, but on the field, it seems like he's having some pretty rough moments and having a hard time getting into a rhythm and into a groove.
Yeah, Shough has had a couple bad days. Training camp has not been kind to Tyler Shough, Caleb Williams, or Michael Penix. Every time you hear anything from camp for those three players, it seems like it's bad news. Now, that's also the product of the clip machine. It's also product of social media and 24/7 camp coverage, where every bad play kind of gets highlighted, good plays kind of get passed over. So I'm not saying that he's not playing that bad, but you know, I would caution if you're giving up on Tyler Shough just yet.
And on top of that, the Saints got some bad injury news regarding rookie running back Devin Neal, along with some other injury updates today from Tuesday's practice, the final practice before they fly to California tomorrow.
Yeah, so Tuesday practice, Wednesday travel day, and then they're in Cali, getting ready for the preseason game this weekend, which I will be live streaming. This channel, Twitch, and Twitter will be multi-streaming, so make sure to stop by, watch the game with the face of the franchise.
And prepare for their game on Sunday versus the Chargers. And we're going to break that down all in today's video. I'm Cash, and you should take 5 seconds to like the video and subscribe. Help support the channel. We just hit 13,000. Shout out to you guys. We're trying to hit 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We can definitely do it, but I can't grow the channel without your help. So support the channel. Appreciate you, and I'll continue to put out Saints and NFL content like this on the daily. And with that being said, let's dive into it. The big news on the day was not really any plays or
Did y'all see that shoulder movement? Did y'all see the neck movement?
Or any big highlight reels from the quarterbacks or any of the receivers or running backs or anything like that. But the big highlight and big news of the day was more so the lineup for the New Orleans Saints. The quarterbacks all throughout camp to this point have been rotating every single day. So day 1 would be Rattler with the starters, day 2 would be Shough with the starters, and day 3 would be Haener with the starters, and then it resets, and then they keep on going with the rotation. But today was a little bit different for the quarterbacks.
And it makes sense, right? Like this rotation thing happened during installation week. This rotation makes sense. Everyone just gets their share, kind of see what you got with everybody, kind of balance it out. But then the closer you get to the next stage, which we're now in the next stage of training camp, things start to change a little bit. Haener drops off. We used this metaphor previously, but think of it like a rocket ship, right? The rocket ship goes up at a certain elevation or a certain altitude, whatever. I'm not a doctor. The boosters fall off, and it keeps on rolling. It's kind of where we're at, where some of this stuff, the boosters are going to fall off. And Spencer Rattler getting that first shot at back-to-back QB1 days, it's an indicator that Spencer Rattler right now is the one, but also Jake Haener taking the least amount of reps. Jake Haener getting work with the threes tells you that Jake Haener is officially eliminated from the triple threat match. He is QB3.
Spencer Rattler started off Sunday during their scrimmage, their big practice with the starters, taking reps with the first team offense, and spent the most time with the first team offense going against the first team defense. And then on Tuesday, there was no rotation as Spencer Rattler remained with the starters. Nick Underhill tweeted this out, saying that Spencer Rattler today was QB1, getting reps with the first team offense. And that was the first time we've seen anyone in the quarterback rotation go back to back getting quarterback reps. Let me zoom in my camera real quick. That's a little bit better. So this is pretty significant. Rattler getting back-to-back days, consecutive days with the starting offense, with the first-team offense, and as the starting quarterback. Kellen Moore and the coaching staff may say that's not significant, but I think it does mean something. Spencer Rattler getting reps with the first-team offense on Sunday during the scrimmage.
So a lot of the stuff you're hearing right now, it means something until it doesn't, right? Because all of this matters until the next step of the season, and then all this kind of goes away, right? Like once the season begins, this stuff doesn't matter at all. Like who's taking back-to-back reps, who's rotating this, who's rotating that. Spencer Rattler can be named the QB1. He can play week 1 and look absolutely horrific, and Tyler Shough can start week 2. Tyler Shough can all of a sudden take off in the Chargers game. He can look amazing. He can become the starter. He can start week 1. He can look terrible. Spencer Rattler can be starting week 2. Like it just, there's ebbs and flows. So I'm starting to see people kind of plant their flag one way or the other and say, Shough is trash. I knew it. Should have drafted whoever. And Spencer Rattler's QB1. And I'm seeing other people say, Spencer Rattler sucked last year. He should have never got the chance. Tyler Shough's the quarterback. He should be QB1. Like, remember, there's ebbs and flows throughout an entire season. So kind of just take what's happening, see the context, but understand that even after camp, even after preseason, even into the season, things will shift and change.
Which was very telling.
And that goes for every player. That goes for every single player. We saw it last year with Mason Tipton, right? Mason, I mean, how many videos were there done, not on this channel, about Mason Tipton being the next Marcus Colston or whatever? And then the season gets here, and it doesn't really matter.
Quarterback battle and race stands, but him getting back-to-back days with the starting offense, I think, is also more telling that he's most definitely in the lead by far in this quarterback race. Way ahead of Shough and way ahead of Haener. Rattler seems to be QB1 right now. As for the other quarterbacks, Tyler Shough ran with the second-team offense, and Jake Haener ran with the third-team offense. Tyler Shough, though, did get some reps at the end of the practice, in the final period of practice, with the first-team offense, and that did not go very well. In terms of the practice itself, though, a pretty low-key practice, which I think is to be expected after a big scrimmage practice, a lot of content.
I'll tell you this, Tyler Shough this offseason talked a lot about how, you know, he's got this maturity level and he's started from the bottom, now he's here, and, you know, he's used to the negativity and whatever. Well, now he's about to have to put that to work because Twitter and Saints fans and analysis and whatever is turning on him, starting to get a little negative, starting to get a little, you know, all of a sudden every clip you see, every tweet you see, everything you see is about how he's struggling, the interceptions he's throwing, whatever. So this is where you want to see some of that experience and some of what he's been through start to shine. And he's got to turn it around. I'll tell you that. He's got to turn it around quick. Okay, 10 days, 11 days is not enough time to say, hey, this guy's a bust, this guy's not a bust, but he's going to have to show us some positives pretty quick here. And that goes into preseason, that goes into, you know, it's not just today, but we're going to have to start seeing some good stuff out of Shough pretty quick here.
A lot of physicality on Sunday. Ross Jackson said it was a calm practice, low-key, not a whole lot going on, a light day, especially with traveling tomorrow. Some more like rotations than you've seen before and more situational stuff like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 4, 2nd and 2, that kind of thing. So not a big day in terms of practice and highlights, but I think a pretty big day in terms of the quarterbacks. When it comes to the actual play, though, Spencer Rattler did have some pretty good plays. He had this really nice connection to Rashid Shaheed over the middle with a good game, let him hit him in stride, and allowed him to get yards after the catch. It was definitely one of the better plays of.
Yeah, that route tree, you're going to see a lot of that, the mesh, crossing concepts, Shaheed, get him in space, some yards after the catch. It's going to be a lot of what Kellen Moore has going on there. That throw reminded me a lot of my 3-on-3 intramural flag football days.
The day. He also, though, wasn't great. He also wasn't perfect, and he had his flaws. He nearly threw an interception to Alontae Taylor. Sean Faisonier said Alontae Taylor dropped the interception on a throw from Spencer Rattler looking for Alvin Kamara. I believe it was out in the flats. And then Rattler went back to Kamara on the next two throws. So Rattler probably had the best day of all the quarterbacks, but he also wasn't perfect like he has been in other practices. He did have some mistakes. He did have some flaws. But from the sounds of it, he did operate the offense the way it needed to be and move the ball the way that he typically would.
All right, now, we talked a lot about Shough. we need to see Rattler continue to advance. We need him to keep developing and keep getting better. We need to see the same thing how I'm saying we need to see a lot of more positive out of Shough quickly. It's not over, right? Job's not finished. We need Spencer Rattler to start putting together some really good days, have a really good preseason. Because what we do not want to happen is, remember a couple weeks ago we were saying that the quarterback competition in its best form will be both quarterbacks are playing really, really well, and then one wins. Good, because that means whoever wins is playing really, really well, right? Well, what happens if you change that a little bit and one quarterback starts playing below average and one quarterback, the other one, wins the competition? Well, then you have to wonder, did they win the competition playing average because the other one was playing below average? Like, where are they at, right? So we got to make sure that if Spencer Rattler is a starter, he's playing at a high level and won the job and is ready for the job versus kind of winning by default because Shough is not playing well. There's a big difference in all that. And I'm not saying that's what's happening, but we do have to factor that in. It isn't just Shough or Rattler, 1 or 0. It's not a binary situation. There are levels, right? So we need to know Rattler won, okay, well, how did he play? He won the day. What did it look like? It's not enough that he just won the day. We need to know what kind of the range of how he's playing and how he's running the offense.
There is no footage that I could find of the Alontae Taylor dropped interception, so otherwise I would have put it on screen. Hopefully I didn't miss it. But outside of the pass to Shaheed and the drop pick by Alontae, not a whole lot going on for Spencer Rattler, at least footage-wise. Had a nice dump off to AK, or not nice, just a dump off to AK, but not a whole lot in this practice from the quarterbacks. As for Tyler Shough, it was another not so great day. Running with the second team offense obviously isn't ideal for him. He's supposed to be the front runner and favorite to be the starting quarterback, and he hasn't done that. He hasn't taken really any leaps throughout training camp or practice so far. And then when he got his opportunity and chance to run with the first team offense, he did not deliver, and it really was a disaster. Nick Underhill tweeted out that Shough is taking some first team reps. And then the next tweet from Nick Underhill was, first pass is a near pick from safety Jordan Howden, and his third pass was picked. I believe his second pass was incomplete. So started off 0-for-3 and almost two interceptions. This is that first pass from Tyler Shough. He was looking for Alvin Kamara in the flats, and it was nearly a pick six from Jordan Howden. Here's Howden, and you're going to see Tyler Shough just stare down his receiver running back the entire way, and nearly a pick six. Just not a great rep from Tyler Shough, not a great read at all, especially for his first rep in his first team offense of the practice. And for this to be a near pick six is just disastrous, especially after having a rough practice on Sunday. And then here's the actual interception that he threw to Jordan Howden. He's trying to hit Rashid Shaheed, I believe, on a double move. Stares down his receiver the entire time, and he gets picked off. Pick six is just disastrous, especially after having a rough practice on Sunday. And then here's the actual interception that he threw to Jordan Howden. He's trying to hit Rashid Shaheed, I believe, on a double move. Stares down his receiver the entire time, and
my boy Chris Olave, yeah, I couldn't tell if he was trying to throw it to Rashid, who was kind of cutting across and floated it, or if he was throwing it to Olave. Because you can see
Rashid
here,
Shaheed,
Olave
on a double move, stares down his.
No, yeah, that's Brandon. He's not even in the screen. So yeah, it's had to be to Olave, and he just
time.
Yeah, just floated it,
and he gets picked off. Too much air under it. Chris Olave probably saw the safety coming. And if this is live action in a game, this is either a pick or Chris Olave is getting lit up. Not a great throw, not a great read. And in the game, Chris Olave is getting lit up. Like, that's not what you want to see, especially given his history.
I'm kind of torn on all this. I really am. And I'm not downplaying the situation. But to me, training camp and practice, it is not supposed to be viewed through the lens of stats and reps and drives and whatever. I use the Jamar Chase thing as a perfect example where all training camp, all you heard was Ja'Marr Chase can't catch. That was all you heard was Ja'Marr Chase has the yips, he can't catch, it's all drops, whatever. Then week 1 happens, and you never hear that again. I've also used this example about the driving range. If you go to the driving range and you film someone on the driving range, it can look pretty ugly, but it's not, the driving range is not meant to be viewed through the lens of, playing the course. It's a totally different thing. Again, I'm not downplaying these interceptions and whatever, but I'm very lukewarm on treating training camp and practice like what it's not, right? If Tyler Shough does well in the preseason, all this goes away. If Tyler Shough does well in the regular season, all this goes away. What you never see is something happen in the regular season, like Ja'Marr Chase's drops, for example. If something's happening in the regular season, it's meant to be viewed from the lens of, look at it from the lens of results and stats and situations and EPA and whatever. That's what it's for. That stuff is way stickier than this. How someone looks in the regular season has a way better chance of being true than how someone looks in training camp being true. So when I see this stuff, we can break down throw for throw for throw and rep for rep for rep, but I feel like it's kind of fruitless.
Of concussion, so just not a great day. Just from the sounds of it, disastrous for Tyler Shough. 2 practices in a row. Had a really rough day on Sunday and comes back Tuesday and has another really rough day. Shough did have some okay moments though. He found Dante Pettis over the middle for a nice gain. He had really nice play throwing to Chris Olave, got it over Danny Stutzman.
Yeah, that was a very Tyler Shough play right there where he uses his feet, moves around a little bit, then drops the arm angle, throws kind of a sidearm looking pass.
So he found Dante Pettis over the middle.
Watch his arm angle change.
For a nice gain.
So,
he had really nice play throwing to Chris Olave, got it over Danny Stutzman, rolling out. That was a nice play. But I would like to see him not roll out every damn play. Stick in the pocket, step up, and make a throw from the pocket and not roll out every play. That's kind of what it feels like is going on with him. Nice play, but he's got to clean up a lot of things, and we need to see improvement from him at some point.
Yeah, that's quite the throw right there. But, yeah, I mean, the whole, rolling out, throwing on the run all the time, we know that's his strength. We know that's his kind of bread and butter, so I'm not surprised that he's leaning on that.
We're almost 2 weeks into training camp, and we haven't really seen this guy get better each day at all. We have seen him develop in terms of processing, but in terms of on the field and consistency, it has not been there at all. As for Jake Haener's day, not a whole lot going on there. Don't really want to go over too much, but he had a nice rollout play, finding Bub Means on a rollout play. Had a few of them nice connections, some Maliki Matava, but also had an incomplete pass looking for the rookie tight end. Not too much else from Jake Haener's day other than that. Moving on past the quarterbacks, running back Alvin Kamara had himself a nice day.
All right, so I just wanted to talk about the quarterbacks there. We're going to end the video, but I don't know, guys. Kind of like the Shough thing you just saw, right? You saw a good throw to Stutzman. You see a bad throw on the interception, or a good throw over Stutzman, a bad throw in the interception. There is absolutely something, it is something to be concerned about. And the fact that Shough is developing a little slower than I think we all thought he would. The fact that he is dropping in the quarterback race, all of that is problematic. And that all should be concerning, and we should watch him kind of get through that. And we should watch him, how does he handle this? How do you react if you're Tyler Shough to this? How do you react to the bad days? How do you react to throwing a pick, 2 picks, 3 picks, whatever? Do you bounce back? That's what you got to focus on. I'm not super concerned about the individual pick or the individual rep. I showed a couple weeks ago how the narrative can change very quickly in training camp, to where you can have a really bad day one day, a really good day the next day. That happens in camp. It doesn't really happen in the regular season. Things get a little more real there. So Shough has fallen behind. That is real. That is no doubt about it. He has dropped to quarterback 2 right now, where we sit. And it's going to take the preseason for him to get back in that QB battle. And we'll see. I mean, here's the bottom line. This is all going to be a thing until Sunday. I'll go ahead and tell you that. All these reps, all this training camp stuff, all that, it will not matter come Sunday night. Because Sunday night, we're going to have real reps, real drives, real throws, real live action against a real team. And yes, preseason, but how Tyler Shough looks in that preseason game, like if we were weighting it on a scale of 1 to 10, if there's 100 possible points, if this is a 100% grading scale, I would say rookie minicamp, and training camp is 10. Is 10% of the grade. 90% of the grade is going to come from preseason. So that's why I'm telling you I'm a little torn, because it is you don't like to see the reports that are coming out of camp. But if week 1 or preseason game 1, week 0.5, if Tyler Shough lights up the Chargers, all of a sudden this whole thing is viewed and skewed completely differently. If he goes out there and just lets it rip and he's just spinning the pill and he's 12 for 14, 2 touchdowns, whatever. I mean, damn, Trey Lance in the Hall of Fame game, Trey Lance went 12 for 24 for 110 yards, and people are acting like he's about to get in the Hall of Fame. So this stuff is, it exists, but we are a couple days away from it getting real. So, I mean, I'm not weighing it, I guess, as much as other people are. Now, that preseason game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, interesting situation. An interesting offseason just got even more interesting every day, man, with this team. It is an exciting team. I'll tell you that. It is not a boring team to cover. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, another page is written in the story of the 2025 Saints. What will we see next? I will see you in the next video.